Welcome to the Eva Neighborhood Board on this 14th of November, wow, time flies, 2024. My name is John Clark and I'm the chair. We will begin with the rules of speaking.
Aloha, this is your community public forum. Your input and cooperation are really appreciated. The Eva Neighborhood Board is an advisory board, and we provide fairness, integrity, and collaboration to all to increase and assure effective citizen participation in the decisions of government. Anyone wishing to speak is asked to raise their hand, and when recognized by the chair, to address comments to the chair. Speakers are encouraged to keep their comments under 1 minute. One turn per person. Those giving reports are urged to keep their reports less than 3 minutes and presentations under 10 minutes. Please silence all electronic devices. The board will be making a good faith effort to provide the public with the opportunity to observe the meeting as it happens and an opportunity to provide oral testimony without a physical presence in the physical meeting room. Please ensure that your computer or phone is muted unless you are speaking. The board may take action on any agenda item as required by the state sunshine law. Specific issues not noted on this agenda cannot be voted on unless added to the agenda. A 2/3 vote, 8 of this 11-member board is needed to add an item to the agenda. Items may not be added if they are of major importance and will affect a significant number of people.
Thank you, Alex. Moving on to introduction of board members. I would like to point out there are currently 4 members in the meeting room and 2 additional members meeting virtually.
3.
We just had a third join us. So 3 virtually and 4 in the meeting room. So we'll begin to my right, Alex.
Sure. Aloha, everyone. I'm Alexander Gauss. Thanks for coming tonight.
Aloha, Susan Gorman Chang.
Okay, we'll move to online members. Can you introduce yourself, please?
Hi, I'm Mike Plowman.
Trey Gordner.
Jana Dela Cruz.
And last but certainly not least,
Aloha, John Rogers. Happy Thanksgiving and happy holidays. We won't see you until January.
good job. Next time use the microphone, okay?
Oh, aloha, John Rogers. Happy Halloween. Happy Halloween. Happy Thanksgiving.
I guess since we recessed, no, we had didn't have a meeting last month, John, and John was on travel too, so yeah, he forgot what it's like. Moving on to public safety and first responder reports.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Eric Efron with the Honolulu Fire Department, and our statistics for this month was 1 structure fire, 2 wildland brush fires, 2 nuisance fires, 2 cooking fires, 6 activated alarms with no fires. For emergencies, we had 159 medical calls, motor vehicle collisions with pedestrians. We had 2 motor vehicle crashes. We had 3, obviously no mountain rescues. Ocean rescues, we had 0. Hazardous material incidents, we had 0. Fire safety tip for this month is about kitchen fires. Cooking is a leading cause of home fires. Protect yourself, your family, and your neighborhood by practicing these prevention tips. For more information and resources, visit fire.honolulu.gov. The tips are: stay in the kitchen while you're cooking. Do not leave cooking unattended. If you must leave the kitchen, turn off the stove. Keep items such as oven mitts, wooden utensils, towels, etc. away from the stovetop, even when the stove is off. Never store items on top of stove or cooking top and inside the oven. Keep a lid nearby to smother small grease fires. Smother the fire by sliding a lid over the pan and turning off the stove. Only plug one heating producing appliance such as a coffee maker, toaster, etc. into an outlet at a time. And create a 3-foot child and pet-free zone around cooking area. Is there any questions?
Any questions for members of the board? Susan?
Yes. Sorry. Do we know the
I don't, but I can get that information for you later.
Any other questions from members of the board? John? No? Any questions from members of the board online, virtually? No? Any questions from members of the community? No? All right. Thank you, sir.
Thank you for your time.
Be safe. Next up, HPD, virtually.
Aloha, board chair and members. Sergeant Moroka from HPD, District 8 Community Policing. Can you hear me?
Loud and clear. Thank you.
Okay. Sorry, Corporal Pagan, unavailable for the moment, so I'm giving the report. I have the stats for the month of October. Let's see, motor vehicle thefts for the district was 19. In our area was 3. There were 15 in the district, of which 5 were in Eva. 150 thefts, 37 in Eva. Unauthorized entry into motor vehicle 40 in the district, of which 16 was in our area. Total citations issued 594. Total calls for service 7,437. Eva was 1,735. Just one announcement, with the holidays coming up, we have the Eva Parade coming up December 14th, Saturday in the morning. Same route going around the Campbell High School complex. Hope you folks can make it. Let's see. That's all I have for Eva Beach. Any questions?
Thank you. Any questions from members of the board? Mr. Rogers?
Yes, officer, thank you for all that you do. So a couple days ago, I was out and about near Sing Park, and I saw a couple young men with real motorbikes, dirt bikes, and they started tearing up the field, tearing around the field. So I dialed 911, and I stood there. So I was hoping they would see me, and they did leave. But it was a good 10 minutes. And I never got, no one, when I called 911, I said, police, not an emergency. And so no one ever came back after 10 minutes. I finally hung up, and of course they call you back and say, hey, you made 911. Do you still want to do this? And of course, at that moment, because the kids had left, I said no. So I guess I'm concerned about that. It takes so long for a non-emergency to even just to talk to a human. And I just want to report that I've been seeing a lot more of these motorbikes in the park. Eva Mexico Park, every weekend, you'll see people riding all around the park, Sing Park. And so I'm just hoping we can get officers out there because these fields are precious to us. We just got them green again, and we just want to keep them that way and keep them good for the kids so they have a place to use it and the public to have a place to use it. So I appreciate your time. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you for bringing that up. So yeah, unfortunately, I can look up that call you made. What other calls were made in that time frame that they couldn't respond right away, but I'm glad they called you back. Is that what happened? They did get back to you and ask you?
It was an automated, they call you back and say, stay on the line, or because it's a 911 call, or push 2 if you want to disconnect. And so I pushed 2 because the issue was over already. I done, by me standing there and them seeing me, I think they understood that I was reporting them. So, yeah, so I just want to let that concern out. It's not a big deal. It is a big deal, and it's not a big deal at the same time. So,
yeah. Again, thank you for calling that in, taking the time. The calls are prioritized. Maybe there was some kind of emergency going on and couldn't respond in time. But we will bring that up to the patrol division in our district and let them know that you're seeing a lot more motorcycles in the area. And yeah, I agree. The parks need to be taken care of. So we'll have the patrol officers check that area more often. Yeah. Thank you for bringing that up.
Thank you, Sergeant. Any other questions from any other board members? Any questions from members of the community? I have one, Sergeant, just right quick. We don't have the information sheet in front of us. Did you notice any trends in the data over the last 3 or 4 months and some of the statistics that you just reported?
There was kind of a uptick in commercial burglaries, smash and grabs. So we did address that. The investigative units, we did some stakeouts. We went to the main shopping centers and had our blue lights on. And the numbers did go down. So that was a good thing. So that night we did that. The times that we did that, there were some in town. So, you know, I believe we did deter some of that on this side by doing our ops in our district. So, but yeah, holiday season, yeah, we gotta be more vigilant. If you see anything, please report that and we'll go check it out.
Okay, thank you, Sergeant.
Thank you.
Do you have a weed and seed report, or is Officer Pagan going to take that and defer it to next time?
Yeah, I did ask him. He had nothing to share at this time. Still doing our mentoring programs in the schools. Another family night at Ilima Intermediate, where the students come with their parents and they get extra credit. So we're trying to promote more family unity and them spending more time together and things like that. So continuing that, and we'll continue to support all the schools in our district, actually, you know, with the weed and seed effort. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Just one last final question. How is the recruiting efforts going within the community? I know HPD had come up with an innovative program. How's that going? Can you report on that at all?
Yeah, we're still low on recruitment. Still short about 400, I believe. But we do have 2 larger recruit classes coming out. So hopefully that's a trend. Yeah, we had a lot of smaller recruit classes coming out, but the one that just came out, and I believe the next one is supposed to be, I believe, in the 30s. So that, you know, the numbers are kind of good right now, but we'll see if we can keep up the recruitment and increase our numbers in the future.
All right.
Yeah. Thanks for your support.
Thank you for all that you do. Appreciate it. Moving on to board administration and planning, approval of regular meeting minutes for Thursday, August 8th and Thursday, September 12th. Has the board reviewed, and shall we approve?
I move to approve the minutes.
Second.
All right. Minutes are approved. Susan, second. Moving on to filling of vacancies, 2 at-large seats. Do we have members of the community that may be interested in volunteering up here with other esteemed colleagues? Don't everybody rush to stage. Come on up, sir. That's one. We have one more.
Or 2 at large.
That's it. Principal Manila, did you want to join the board? Okay, we have one. Any others?
I think the chair will let himself and the board can ask a question.
So if you would, step up to the mic, speak clearly and directly, and tell us about yourself, and the board members will open up to questions.
Well, it's nice to see you all today. My name is Isaiah Curtin.
I moved to Eva last year, but been in Hawaii for about 10 years. Originally from the Windward side, Castle grad, go Knights. But yeah, I've been serving within the community as much as I could. In high school, I was on the student board. In college, I was a class representative. And then I lived in DC for a little while in college, worked at Senator Schatz's office for a while there as well. So always been a good member of it. Now I'm an attorney. I have a law firm downtown doing a lot of estate planning, elder law, things like that.
Excellent. Any questions from members of the board? Alex?
Yeah, hey, I appreciate you stepping up, and I'm curious, like where do you live, and what are your thoughts on? I mean, I love to see active people on the board. So obviously, a body is better than none. But I'm just curious on your how you perceive your participation levels and time. Being a lawyer is not an easy task or anything. I mean, we're all busy, obviously, but I'm just curious if you could talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, when I first started my practice, I was very busy, but I have a 8-month-old. And so when she was born, my wife said, I got to be done at 4 to be home by 5. But she goes to bed at 6:30. So I should be fine to be here. But yeah, I'm pretty much home every day by 5:30, depending on traffic. But yeah, I should be able to be here. My wife's from here. Her whole family's here. So that's why we moved here. We've got built-in babysitters. So, but yeah, it's a good community to be a part of. Yeah, probably gonna live here for a long time.
John?
Well, hold on. I just have one really important question, John. Do you agree to renounce your allegiance over to Campbell Sabres from here on out? So,
Yeah, Castle was a long time ago.
Okay.
But,
okay. All right.
yeah.
All right. I see you have on black. You just need a little bit of orange to go with it.
Some orange. I see some orange in here, so I'll go get some. Yeah.
But seriously though, John, do you have any questions?
Thank you for stepping up, and your interests in government and how you think you can use your skills to make this a better place, have a better place.
Yeah, I think you all are very young, but it's good to have still young energy, and there's not enough of us trying to participate in government, I don't think. And this is a great place to start. Like I said, I've always been involved in the community in some way or the other. And I think this is just a good next step to try to do that. Relatively newer to Eva, but like I said, I've been in Hawaii for a long time. So I'd like to embed myself deeper in this community as much as I can. Yeah.
Awesome.
And do we get a discount on our estate plan?
Yeah.
Any questions from members of the board online? Is
Yes.
that Jana? Oh, I'm sorry, Susan?
Oh, yeah. Could you maybe give me an idea of what issues you think are in Eva or even island-wide that you're interested in?
Yeah, so, I think our community parks are important to spend a little bit more focus and attention on. I do hear these motorcycles all over the place now too. So what you said earlier resonated with me. Water safety issues are a big thing. I know a couple of meetings ago, we had some people describing the issues of the fishermen in the water and getting caught up on the lines. I experienced that too. So I think water safety issues, I'm a big waterman myself. So there's a lot of traffic issues, especially, we just had that report. There were 3 fatalities here. I mean, that's incredible. That's really tragic, and there shouldn't be like that. But yeah, I think that there's a lot that could be done for saving lives, traffic, pedestrian walkways, and things like that.
Okay. Thank you. I think that's been a pretty good intro. Seems like you'd be a good addition to the board, but it's up to the members to vote. All those in favor? Aye. Online?
Aye.
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 Okay. No opposed? Any opposed? Any abstentions? It's unanimous.
Unanimous.
All right.
Great.
Welcome to the board.
Thank you.
We're going to need you to bring your driver's license over to prove that you're a member of this.
Yeah, I did update it, so it does.
Okay. And then for the community, we'll take a quick 2-minute recess. And after that, he can actually come up here and join us on the board.
All right, great. Thanks, guys.
Okay, we'll get started here again. Welcome back, and if I could have the in-house audience give our newest board member a round of applause for volunteering his time. And remember, you have full rights and privileges as a board member, so you can begin asking questions and giving kudos to whatever you want after this. So we still have one vacancy left to fill. So at some point, if someone wants to wait to the end of the meeting, they see that, hey, you know what, this is not as bad as it seems. Just let us know what your name is. We are taking recess next month, so we will not be meeting next month. So the first meeting will be in January. So maybe as part of your New Year's resolution, you want to join the Ever Neighborhood Board and get more involved in the community. Couple things. We have a few items left. So we actually have 2 vice chairpersons on this board. That's something we started a couple of years ago. One of our 2 vice chairpersons was recently elected to office. So we have that vacancy. So what we need to do now is, okay, we need to fill the vice chair's position. We have 2. One of them is online. And Jana, did you have a question?
Yes, I was actually wondering if I could nominate another person for the second position now.
Yeah.
Sure.
You can nominate.
Yeah. Yes, you and others can nominate whomever you wish.
I believe he's in the room. His name is Zach Espino. I just wanted to nominate him for the at-large position.
Oh.
Are they present in the room? If the person is
I
present in the
believe
room,
so.
they can accept or decline. Are you? Oh, okay. I think we have an acceptance here. All right, okay. I think Isaiah provided a good example. So if you could tell us what law school you graduated from.
My name is Zach Espino. I recently moved to Eva Beach in 2021 during COVID. Me and my siblings ended up purchasing a townhouse in Eva Gentry. I actually was born and raised in Waimanalo and had the opportunity to serve on the Waimanalo Neighborhood Board starting at 19 years old. And I served on the board for 3 years before things got hectic in my life. But those 3 years serving on the Waimanalo Neighborhood Board really gave me an opportunity to see the issues facing not just Waimanalo, but the city and county. I was on the board during a time where, if you guys remember, the Sherwoods project that caught a lot of attention across the city. And so it was a great opportunity for me to be on the board at that time, just to experience that, especially as a young person, being surrounded by a lot of people who are older than me. And I learned a lot. Then I was with Chairman Kekoa Ho, who was a leader in the Waimanalos. But now that I'm in Eva Beach, I had the opportunity to work in the Capitol building, learning about the legislative process and really getting that experience. It's funny, I'm a paralegal by education, but also studied political science, which led me to working in government. I now work for a congressionally funded nonprofit organization on the UH campus. And I'm really excited if given the opportunity to have the chance to represent, not just Eva Gentry residents, especially because we do also deal with our own issues, especially with the association, putting on these random charges and fees. I know that a lot of other neighbors have received. So really looking forward to the opportunity to serving. I know this board is very active. So I'm looking forward to contributing in any way that I can. And so I do know Jana personally as well. We were on the State Student Council together. And so thanks, Jana.
All right. And with
You're
that,
welcome.
we'll open up the questions and we'll start with the members virtually. How's that? Any questions from the members meeting virtually or comments? Bueller, Jana? None? Okay. Any
I don't
questions?
have any. I mean, I nominated him, so I think that says a lot.
Okay. Alex?
I'll second the nomination.
Thanks, Zach. I appreciate it. I'm curious, actually. My question is, it sounds like you said you're excited about it, but then Jana had to nominate you, and I'm just wondering why you were so tentative to step. I mean,
Good question.
you have experience, and I'm just wondering why that is, or do you not have the time? Are you super intimidated by us because we're so intimidating? I'm just curious.
Well, I actually ran for the 2023-2025 term, but didn't get on the board. And so, I'm trying again this way and maybe exploring, running again in 2025. But, I do feel that there's much more that I need to learn about the community, and I hope I can use, the opportunity to serve on the board to do that. But, there's a lot to do in this community, so looking forward to that opportunity.
Okay. Do you have proof of residency with you?
I do.
Okay, good. All right. Before we take a recess, I just wanted to ask that. Okay. We'll take another quick recess, a couple minutes, and we'll be right back. Ladies and gentlemen, go ahead and get started here.
We're so excited.
All right, we're back in session. One of the things we'll do now that we're back in session is actually vote to have Zach come on board. So all those in favor of bringing Zach on board as a board member?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay. Audience inside, if you could give a big round of applause to our newest board member. Zach had a good point that he made, and I just like to remind members within the room as well as virtually that we are an advisory board. So we don't really have any actual, statutory power, but we actually have quite a bit of what I'll say is leverage. And part of that leverage is you, the community members, letting us know what's important to you and working through resolutions and direct coordination with our elected officials, getting things done in the community. And we've been able to do that. Whether that means getting speed bumps in the community or other traffic calming measures, or actually getting money for our schools, traffic lights, things like that. So it does matter. The board members here, although it is volunteers, as you can see, but your connection and your engagement with this board also is part of the magic. So thank you. Next, we're going to have the election of our second vice chair. Any nominations?
I nominate Alex Gauss for the second vice chair.
Okay.
I second.
I hear a second from Mr. Plowman online. Any other nominations? Okay. Nominations are closed. All in favor of Mr. Gauss serving as the second vice president?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Aye.
Any opposed? Seeing none? All right. How about a big round of applause for our newest vice president? Vice chair. Vice chair, sorry about that. Vice chair, sorry. I got election on the mind. Okay, we'll move on to resolution installation of visually impaired crosswalk signal box on Fort Weaver Road and Kaanui Drive. Okay. Rep-elect Reyes Oda will present.
Do I just read it, or how does this work?
Yeah, you can just read it. You have one now.
I'm bringing forth this resolution, which was, I think, what I brought up about a month or two ago, but due to the recess, it's coming up now. So I brought it up as a board member. So sorry, I'm coming up this way on this mic. But this came up because of a resident who is an elderly resident who is visually impaired. And she said that she was concerned when she goes out and about on Fort Weaver and crossing the streets there. So that's what this is about. If we can imagine what am I talking about specifically, it's the Fort Weaver and Kaanui area when you're looking around Buffalo Wild Wings, that area there. So this is titled Urging the State and City to Integrate Audible Beaconing Signals at Traffic Light Intersections for Disabled Blind Pedestrians. Whereas the EVA Neighborhood Board number 23 is committed to addressing the issues and concerns of neighborhood residents. And whereas the city and county of Honolulu has already tested and set the precedents for audible beaconing signals integrated at the intersections of Liliga Street, Kuakini Street, and at Nuuanu Ave, Kuakini Street, where these audible beaconing signals have greatly helped disabled blind persons who live in Honolulu. And whereas we believe the same like integrations could be integrated at Fort Weaver and Keaunui Drive. And whereas these audible beaconing signals would also benefit the elderly crossing at our crosswalks at Eva Beach, allowing them to watch and hear these beaconing signals and timely responding to a safe pedestrian crossing. And be it resolved, the United States is lagging behind several international countries who have integrated audible beaconing signals in their big cities, such as Sydney, Australia. That is a great example of how their audible beaconing signals are at every crosswalk intersection in Sydney. And Hawaii needs to make sure this is a priority for our disabled blind persons. And be it resolved that the EVA Neighborhood Board strongly believes that federal funds are available to help expand this like integration across our islands and should be placed in our state and city transportation planning, such as the Oahu Metropolitan Planning Organization Transportation Improvement Program, considerations and future projects. And be it finally resolved that the EVA Neighborhood Board requests that copies of this resolution be distributed to the Hawaii State Legislature, City Council, Hawaii Department of Transportation, Department of Transportation Services, Oahu Metropolitan Planning Organization, and related Citizens Advisory Committee, Hawaii Organization of the Blind, and all neighborhood boards. Adopted by the neighborhood board, submitted by me. I want to say one thing if you can't imagine what this is, I crossed at the crosswalk by the Department of Health crossing to the Capitol yesterday. And when you press the button and when you're ready to go, I was looking at my phone. And for somebody, I'm not visually impaired, but what it tells me right there is, you ever been to one and it gives you the right at the signal? And I could get off my phone and go, okay, it was ready for me to walk. So that's what this is. If you guys could imagine what the request is for this. Thank you. I'll just stand by if you have any questions. Sorry.
Okay, we'll now have discussion on the resolution.
All right.
John?
Julie, thank you for this resolution. This is really good. You got me reading. I've traveled a lot too, and this is on the mainland, on continent, and I was in Australia, just Sydney last year. And again, you push the button, it tells you walk, don't walk. And so some of these now are actually voice activated too. And so I just think this is super important, and it's all the crosswalks that go across Fort Weaver, because they're one of the things in the manual for traffic signals. I even opened up that. I went and found that on the internet, is that if the crosswalk is 70 feet or longer, then this should be installed in that. So that crosswalk that you're talking about is over 100 feet. It's like 120 feet, and that's not even included the little island. So got to add that in. So this is great, and we just need to get smarter about this. And there's a lot of money. AMPO is building their next 2025, the ORTP, the Oahu, Oahu Regional Transportation Plan. So it's coming out next year. So this is something that can be added to their, make sure a lot of these get added to the plan. So thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you, John. Alex?
Yeah, thanks, Julie. I agree. It is good. Along those lines, I'm curious so I know you brought this particular intersection up in the resolution because one of the constituents asked you to. And I'm just wondering if, not a question for you, it's a question for the board and the community, like, should we be looking at this resolution to add multiple streets and not just focus on one? Or is it better to try to get one and then see if we can add others? I'm just wondering, there are multiple, as John said, there are multiple intersections that are issues, and should we just revise this to include several of the most busy intersections, say along Fort Weaver? That's
So I put it on because that was the request from her, but I also wanted to make sure that it passed. So if I put in a whole bunch of requests, then somebody might say no, that it was too much of an ask. So if I just put one in, I thought it was a good way for it to be able to get a yes more easily.
So one thing I read in the manual for traffic devices is that once you ask for, so if a visually impaired person asks for a signal to be added. The HDOT, or in this case, it would be the Hawaii Transportation Department, is almost required to come out and do a traffic study. So they're going to have to come out with this resolution and at least do a traffic study and then have the answer of whether it meets the
Right.
criteria.
Threshold for required.
So I think it's good to start with one and we'll see what happens and build upon that.
Yeah. Any questions from board members online? Okay. Seeing none. Hold on, Mike, go ahead.
Yes. Congratulations, Julie, by the way. Great resolution. I support it. I'm a little bit concerned with the last two paragraphs and the language. And I think the first part of the first, be it resolved, almost should read as another whereas, where like,
I
we
agree.
believe that there's funding and I think we could work that specific intersection in with a request and an urging to maximize in our district and statewide. But I think we probably might need a little bit of an amendment for those last two paragraphs, just to clarify what exactly the ask is and separate it from what we believe the funding that's available is. And it's just those last two paragraphs. I think the rest of it reads great. Is it just me, or wondering anybody else sees what I see there?
Thank you, Mike. I tend to agree with Mike. There's some wordsmithing, but I think in general, I know in general that we support the resolution, so we can we'll vote on it, of course, but we can pass it with subject to the amendments there and that Mike has proposed. Like that first one he mentioned, be it resolved. I think it probably should be a whereas. So just some wordsmithing, but outstanding groundwork, Julie. Outstanding. So at this point, we'll now that we've heard some discussion, we'll vote on whether to approve. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, I see positive votes online. Any abstentions? Any opposes? Seeing none, it is passed that we support this resolution. Thank you, Jen.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. So this last item, I wanted to put this, all the board members actually are restricted from conversing about these items because of the sunshine law. So this was on the agenda at last month's meeting, but we didn't have that meeting. So I just want to talk about it, just to give you an overview of what this is. And so the topic is Regional Permitted Interaction Group, or a PIG, or PIG for short, with adjacent neighborhood boards to discuss and assign. That is the agenda item. So what this basically is, since we're restricted from talking with other boards on any subject, or even amongst ourselves, if we establish a permitted interaction group, we can actually have discussion with other boards and other board members, as long as it doesn't cross a certain threshold. I forget what that number is. Remember that, Jeffrey? How many, is it up to 4 people, I think?
Sir, there's a list of quorum.
Less than quorum. So for this board, we need 6 members to meet quorum. So as long as we had 5 members or less, we could talk about other things with other boards. So we have specific subjects and topics, and I talked with the chairperson of the Kapolei Makakilo Neighborhood Board. So what we want to be able to do is talk about not just issues germane to Ewa Beach, but also the surrounding areas, for example, Kapolei. So one of the big items that we talked about, John Rogers, was the pickleball courts. We gave a recommendation that 400 acres that the Navy has transferred over to the city and county of Honolulu, we would like to see pickleball courts there. Plus, we'd like to see some other things as well, but John Rogers proposed that. That's not in the Ewa Beach area. That is not under our cognizance as a board. But by partnering, if you will, and by getting approval from the Neighborhood Commission Office, we can actually have discussions with the Kapolei Neighborhood Board as long as we don't have more than 5 personnel from our board there. So there's actually 4 specific items that we came up with to talk about to establish these basically integrated permitted interaction groups. The first one is the Kalaeloa Community Development District, those 400 acres I spoke about earlier. Number two is overcrowding in public schools within the boundaries of Neighborhood Board 23 and Neighborhood Board 34. The third one is addressing additional traffic congestion related to new developments in the pipeline. And again, this includes not just EVA, but Kapolei. And number four, community disaster resilience hubs. So as we go on dealing with climate change, we'd like to be able to address that as a regional area and not just individually as Eva Beach and, or should I say Eva Beach or Kapolei. So the chair and I discussed it, and I nominated certain members of the board to be on those committees. We can interchange the members, but I wanted to put it on the board tonight to at least discuss and see which one of our board members wanted to be on those respective, we'll call them well, they're pigs, but they're basically subcommittees, permitted interaction groups. So with that, I'll open it to discussion. Anyone interested in being on the first one, the Kalaeloa Community Development District? TIG. John? Okay. I listed you specifically because of the resolution. Any others online? Anyone interested in being part of that? I myself would join that. Jeffrey?
May I ask a question? Have we talked to Kapolei
Yes,
Neighborhood Board?
yes.
And they're, okay.
This has already been blessed up through the NCO. Yeah, so this was supposed to be on the agenda last month. Well, it was on the agenda last month. We didn't have the opportunity. Yes, go ahead, Alex.
Yeah, I'm just curious. So what have you discussed, like the frequency of meeting, what that would look like? I'm interested, but it's a time commitment thing, right? And I'm just overloaded already. So I'm just curious if you've discussed that.
Excellent question. So there is talk about having at some point in the future a coordinated integrated board between the two neighborhood boards. However, there'll be a Kapolei Holly in person, but it will also be virtual. So if you didn't have time to meet there, but it wouldn't be like a huge commitment unless that permitted interaction group decided to hold additional meetings. The important thing here is that you can have discussions. Okay.
I'll nominate for that as well.
Okay, so there's, let me go over the four again, now that you know the background of it. The Kalaeloa Community Development District, overcrowding in public schools, additional traffic congestion related to new developments in the pipeline, and community disaster resilience hubs. Susan, I nominated you for the community disaster resilient hubs.
Perfect. I was just going to volunteer. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, sure.
One other question is this the final list of topics, or can we introduce new ones as we find them, so to speak?
We can definitely move forward with new ones. So these were the ones that immediately came to mind, sort of like low hanging fruit. When I thought of our board and Makana thought about his board, these made the most sense. I want to be on the overcrowded in public schools. I'm education zoned in on that. So any others want to join any of the other permitted interaction groups? Mike? Any people online, virtually?
Yeah, I would be happy to join the traffic congestion
Okay,
discussion.
there's four separate, and you can join more than one. Okay, Sean Rogers, traffic congestion. I'm sorry, Isaiah? Traffic congestion, okay. Mike?
Disaster resilience is of interest to me.
Okay. Overcrowded in public schools. Any takers on that? Jana?
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Who else was on it? Trey?
This is Trey. With regrets, I'll be unable to participate at this time. I am expecting a newborn on Sunday, and prevents me
Congratulations.
from taking on any new responsibilities for the next few months.
Okay, but in 18 years, we're going to expect you to join one of these communities.
Roger that.
Okay. Any other interest? Okay. With that, we'll close that one item and move on to the next agenda item. So in section 4 of our agenda tonight, we have 3 items: the Red Hill Registry, the Holomoa Elementary Lego Robotics Team, and then the Queens Health Systems acquiring from Sutter Health. So what we're going to do is we're going to swap out 4A with 4B, because 4B is our guest, Keiki from Holomoa Elementary School. So in the interest of time, because they may, they need their sleep. So we're going to move them up to 4A and then move the Red Hill Registry down to 4B. So with that, we will get them started. So we'll just take a couple seconds here to get them set up. We're not going to take a recess though. We'll just let them set up.
As well, only.
Uncle Avengers, assemble!
Alethea, team Cody.
Christian, team lead. Dahlia, research. Joaquin, robotics.
Anthony, research lead. And the full robotics.
Luke, research.
We are the Uncle Avengers. Before we start our presentation, I'd like to show a short 4-minute video that was created about ocean acidification.
What is ocean acidification? Ocean acidification is when our ocean absorbs carbon dioxide that is released.
Thank you.
Pero hay na. Dito siya yung audio. Go. Yeah. There it is.
What is ocean acidification? Ocean acidification is when our ocean absorbs carbon dioxide that is released into our atmosphere, making it become more acidic. The ocean absorbs about 31% of carbon emissions. Burning fossil fuel, caused by us humans, releases large amounts of carbon dioxide. When carbon dioxide and water from the ocean mix, they form an acid that causes our oceans to become more acidic.
pH scale, acids, bases, and neutrals. The acidity is measured by using a pH scale. pH stands for potential of hydrogen. It measures the concentration of hydrogen ions in the water-based substances. The scale ranges from 0 to 14. 7 is neutral. Some items acidic are sour milk, oil, lemon, coffee, the acid in your stomach, and the highly acidic car battery, which has pH close to
because not many people know much about it. One of the effects on marine life is that as the oceans become more acidic, it starts to weaken the shells and skeletons of seas, crabs, shrimps, and clams. These creatures will eventually die.
Another effect is coral bleaching. The acid reduces the amount of calcium that to build and repair itself. When coral dies, some marine life lose their habitat and will not have a safe place to live in order to survive. The rise in the acidity of the ocean will eventually affect the entire food chain. The marine life at the bottom of the food chain will die out, and the larger sea creatures will not have their source of food. Humans who rely on the ocean for food will also be greatly affected.
Here's the big picture. 1 in 7 people rely on seafood for protein. 1 in 4 ocean species live in coral reefs. We need to reduce carbon dioxide emissions to help our ocean, and we need to do it now.
What are some ways we can reduce our carbon footprint, you may ask? Let's plant more trees to absorb carbon dioxide, use alternative energy sources from the sun, wind, and waves, and use reusable water bottles.
Did you know that single-use water bottles that you and I drink from are made from crude oil? The same crude oil
Connection might not be very good.
which is then absorbed by our oceans. 1.5 billion water bottles are produced every single day.
By the year 2100, carbon footprint, our oceans will become more and more acidic, causing our marine life to die. This can happen during our lifetime. I'll only be 88 years young.
Take a stand! Say no to plastic water bottles! Thank you!
Thank you very much for that presentation. That was excellent.
One, two, three. Here are Senate. Here are facts. Here are state. Here are facts. We are live at Honolulu College. Elementary school for the of plastic water. They claim that next to the water bottle and that's the future. There's no plan B. Use reusable water bottles to save the sea. You want a future. No plan B. Use reusable water bottles to save the sea. Our ocean is becoming more and more acidic. According to NOAA, it acts as a carbon sink and absorbs 31% of carbon dioxide that is released into the atmosphere, which then increases the amount of hydrogen ions in the water, increasing the acidity. Ocean acidification has increased by 30%. Back then, ocean pH was 8.2, which is ideal, making it slightly alkaline. Today, it is 8.1, a whopping drop of 30%. By 2100, our ocean pH will be 7.8, a drop of 150%. This will happen in our lifetime, in our children's lifetime, in our grandchildren's lifetime. I'll be 88 years young. Take a guess. What's increasing carbon dioxide in the atmosphere? Burning fossil fuels. Emissions have increased. Estimated. It creates provisions that eat away the minerals for oysters, clams, lobsters, shrimp, coral reefs, other marine life, which is very important for their existence. The die-off for these creatures will affect the future. Ocean acidification. We have made it right there. One minute or something like that. Let it turn up. I thought I was like that. I thought I hope I'll be getting like what can we do? We've gone on a mission to educate our fellow classmates and Ever Beach neighborhood boys. We gave the 4th, 5th, and 6th grade students a pre and a post test about ocean acidification. But before we gave them the post test, we taught them about the causes and effects and what could be done. Here are the test results. Ta-da! For the first question, what is ocean acidification? 68.8% of people got it correct in the pre-test, and 85.2% of people got it correct in the post-test. For the second question, what are the effects of ocean acidification? In the pre-test, 22.7% of people got it correct, and in the post-test, 58.9% of people got it correct. For the third question, what can you do to reduce your carbon footprint? 68.1% of people got it correct in the pre-test, and 77.2% of people got it correct in the post-test. And for the last question, has our survey helped you? 61.2% of people said yes, and 29.7% of people said not sure. It appears that Councilman Wire has come out of his office and will be ejected from this.
What you're doing as 6th graders is very admirable, if only for the adults that have experience in the future get involved. I want to help you with this solution to have a group of topic water models installed and change all our agreements. Let's work together to pass Bill 59.
Yay! This will definitely work. Back to you, Joe. Thank you.
Test. That was awesome. That was awesome. Can I get the lights turned up, please? Any questions from the board members? I have a question. How long have you been working on this?
We've worked on it since the beginning.
Since the beginning of August. It shows that you put quite a bit of time in this. I know the community enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. It's very educational, and it's actually inspired me to never again buy a plastic water bottle. So you did an awesome job. You've changed this person, so perhaps you've changed others. Any questions from the members of the community? No? Okay. Oh, yes, ma'am. Awesome. So where'd the teacher go that was associated? I see Principal Bonilla. Principal Bonilla, did you want to say a few words, or the teacher has to say a few words?
First of all, thank you to our EVA Neighborhood Board and the community for the opportunity for our students to present this evening. I was actually at a conference earlier today, and it talked about and emphasized the concept of student voice, empowering students to have the floor to give their voices, their research actually make a difference in the world today. So we're not waiting for our students to get to college. It's happening today. So round of applause to our Holomu Elementary Voyagers. Also wanted to take this opportunity to thank our awesome teachers and their parents for making this possible. With us today, Mr. Kanetane, Mrs. Hogutan, our enrichment program advisors and teachers. So a round of applause to them as well. We have parents in the crowd, so if you could just raise your hand to acknowledge our awesome families. Hand the floor over to Mr. Kanetane for some words.
Just thank you very much for the time. We really appreciate the community. We've kind of been telling the kids that they are the movers. They're going to become the movers. And so the best way to do so is to kind of get out there in the community and start off with the community and hopefully work our way up. and beyond. So thank you very much for your time. Really appreciate parents and everybody for coming out. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Take a bow, students. Take a bow. All right. Thank you. Ma'am, can you step up to the mic? Ma'am, can you step up to the mic and say what you just said? Thank you.
Say what I just said.
Yeah.
So they worked hard to design stickers for reusable water bottles that you can put onto your reusable water bottles. So they're so happy to hear that you feel guilty now buying that reusable.
I didn't say that. I said I'm a changed man. I didn't say I felt guilty.
And we'll take that. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Oh, feel so special now. Very cool. I feel like I'm on the Oprah Winfrey Show, and you get one, and you get one, and you get one. Thank you. That's very cool.
That is outstanding. I'll put this on my clip when I get home.
That is very cool.
Love that.
What a treat tonight. That's awesome. Okay, let's see how this transition will work. Next up, we have the Red Hill Registry. Are the presenters here for the Red Hill Registry? Virtually or in the meeting room?
I think.
Okay. Seeing none, we'll move on. The Queens Health System. Any presenters in the physical meeting room or the virtual meeting room for the Queens Health Systems? Okay. Seeing none, we'll move on to agenda item number 5, residents and community concerns and community announcements. As a reminder, this is limited to one turn, 2 minutes per person. Concerns or comments to public safety and government officials should be addressed in sections 3, which is coming up next. In the interest of time, please be brief with your concerns or questions. Okay. We will start in the meeting room. Anyone in the meeting room? Go ahead, John. And I do note that there are people online with the hand raised. We will get to you shortly.
I have 2 things. Just to let everyone know, candidate registration for the 2025 neighborhood board elections is coming soon for the 2025 to 2027. Important dates to remember: December 20th, the candidate and voter registration begins. February 21st, candidate filing and voter registration deadline ends. And then April 25th, voting begins, and May 16th, voting ends. So these important dates, especially the February 21st, if there's anyone here that wants to continue being on the board, we gotta get on there by February 21st. And then the second thing, the Department of Transportation Services is proposing to restructure the following routes: Route 41, 44, 415, and 461. And I should have put this out on the table earlier. There's a survey online if you ride those routes and you're concerned about how it's changing. I tried to look at it and figure it out. I couldn't, so I can't be any help. But you go online, they got the map, and I have a QR code here, and I'll set this back on the back table so that if you're interested in taking the survey, the more people that talk about this or tell, the better the city will, make our bus service. So appreciate your time.
Thank you, John. Mike Plowman.
All right, Chair. Thank you. You might recall a few months back, Board Member Liam Chin made a presentation that outlined the lower range surface danger zone danger area and the danger zone, and the traditional deterministic batwing method of calculation of that places the park and many homes within that danger zone. And the following month, the Marine Corps came back and gave a presentation, not disputing our calculations, but rather stating that they don't have to honor that because they have this new computerized probabilistic model that takes into account that the firing lines and the targets are elevated, and that therefore projectile escapement from the range is impossible, was the claim that was made. And in my mind, I found that absurd, given there's no containment methods, especially laterally. So I went out, being a skeptic, and purchased a metal detector and combed the sand in the area along Little Beach Park, and I found considerable obvious bullet fragments. And I'd add to that in the collection of lead sampling that was taken on the other side of the fence by the Marines, they found hundreds of pieces of fragments, bullet fragments as well. So my point is, and wrapping it up, is that obviously bullets are escaping the range, and that the model, the computer model, appears to be lacking. And the people who attend that park, who go to that park, ought to be warned that during live fire, there's an opportunity for projectiles to reach them. And I've got a photograph that I passed to Jeff that he may be able to display, or I can share my screen briefly. But that's my concern that I wanted to bring up, is that it does appear that projectiles escape the range.
Okay, Mike, thank you. That was right at 2 minutes. Thank you. Appreciate it. Moving on to,
I have one more announcement.
I'm sorry?
I have an announcement.
Susan, I'm going to recognize someone on
I'm sorry.
online. Thank you. Wayne Tanaka. Wayne Tanaka?
There we go. Okay. Good evening, Chair Clark, members of the Eva Beach Neighborhood Board. Wayne Tanaka with the Sierra Club of Hawaii. Just real quick, I wanted to invite everyone here and also to ask for your help in spreading the word about a community talk story that we will be hosting regarding the Pu'uloa firing range, which Member Perlman was just speaking about. And specifically regarding some of the latest findings in terms of the data with regards to lead and heavy metal contamination. And we will have community members and subject matter experts to help folks understand what this data says, what we know, what we don't know, and answer any questions that folks may have regarding the situation. And, it's really important for us that people are able to understand how connected we all are to our environment, and to be able to assess their own risk tolerance, when there are indications of environmental hazards, especially with, toxic metals like lead that can have generational and generations long impacts. And so just please, if you would like to mark your calendars, the talk story will be at 5:30 on December 3rd on Zoom. I'll drop a link in the chat, and hopefully folks can share it with the members there that are physically present. And you can also subscribe to our mailing list for updates on this event. And I'll also put that in the chat. It's sierraclubhawaii.org/subscribe. But otherwise, happy to answer any questions. And thank you so much for your time.
Okay. And that website again, Sierra Club?
Sierraclubhawaii.org.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'll also put a thing in the chat if that's okay.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Susan?
Yes, I put some flyers on the table over there because next week, right here in this room, is the Community Representation Initiative. That is the elected board to deal with the Navy and the Department of Health and the EPA regarding all things shutting down Red Hill and cleaning up, and also issues with the water. So next week here, 5 o'clock to 8 o'clock, here's the agenda, and it's on the table, and I hope to see you there. Thank you. See you here. Thank you.
Thank you, Susan. I noticed Dee Wiedemann had their hand up earlier and lowered their hand.
Yes, I'm here. Can you all hear me?
Yes.
Yes. Wonderful. Thank you, Chair, for having me. My name is Dee Wiedemann. I am the event director for Aloha Racing, and I'm here to let the community know that our 2025 calendar is in place. We have 6 events a year, 4 of them right here in Eva. The January and July events will be utilizing Keoneula, Tamakana, Geiger, Roosevelt, and Coral Sea. And then in May and November, we have events, same roads, but we also involve Papipi as well. Those would be for people that are concerned about traffic and such. We don't close roads, we don't do anything like that, so it shouldn't be an issue. But for everybody who might be interested in fundraising, that type of thing, we do have programs for schools and such that are trying to, maybe they don't want to sell chocolate bars or wash cars. There can be a more fun way to do it. For the record, though, those dates are January 18th, May 10th, July 12th, and November 22nd. And then for anybody who has interest in any other way, if you go to our website, aloharacing.com, the contact us button sends an email straight to me, and I'd be happy to answer any questions, any concerns whatsoever.
Thank you, Dee. And these are Ford Mustangs, Porsche. What type of racing vehicles are they?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I guess I made a big assumption there. No, these are running events. 5Ks,
Okay,
10Ks, half marathons. We
Okay.
actually have one coming up on the 23rd for anybody who has an immediate fundraising need.
Thank you, Dee. And the website again, aloharacing.com or .org?
Aloharacing.com.
Okay. Thank you. Appreciate your input. Right at 2 minutes.
Mahalo.
Thank you. Any other expressions of concern or comments for the community or from the community? Okay, seeing none, moving on. Other monthly reports limited to 3 minutes per report. Follow-up questions and answers and comments limited to one turn, 1 minute per person. And we'll start with Tony and Hunt Communities Update.
Good evening, everyone. Tony Gaston from the Hunt Companies. Welcome, new board members. Hope you're going to have a lot of fun on this. I'll give you guys a quick update on how the roadways are going out at Kalailoa. You guys know you only been driving 2 lanes. Well, guess what? The lights didn't turn on yet, and it's because we're still waiting on Hawaiian Electric. We're hoping they come. When they do, though, there's still a couple more weeks of work that needs to happen. We need to restripe and transition everything because the holidays are coming. We don't want to do that during the holidays. So already we've told ourselves we're going to wait now, no matter when the lights turn on, to do all the restriping and reroute things in January, early January, because we don't want to change things during the holidays and make it inconvenient. So even though the lights may turn on, I hope soon we won't do the restriping until later. That's number one. Number two, if you guys know, there's still that road, Kopahe, next to the elementary school that hasn't been built yet. It's because we still didn't get all our approvals. Things are moving along much faster now, at least. Department of Land and Natural Resources has transitioned authority over to the Department of Education. So now DOE can just go ahead and execute everything with the United States DOE. Fingers still crossed, hope it gets done. And soon as they do that, though, we are going to get in there and finish that road. That's my quick update. Does anybody have any questions?
Any questions from the community? Questions from the board? Seeing none? Thank you, Tony.
Thank
As
you very
always,
much.
excellent brief.
Thank you.
Moving on to Gentry Homes.
Hi, can you all hear me? And actually, sorry, Chair, I believe you do have a question for Tony from Mike Plowman.
Yes, please proceed, Gentry Homes. We're good. Thank you, Tony.
Oh, okay. Okay, wonderful. Let me just share my screen real fast. Alrighty. So just quick brief update from us. Oh, my name is Sunny Rosar, by the way. I work for Gentry Homes doing governmental affairs and community relations. And this is our newest development, Ku'ulu, real fast. It's not necessarily in the Ewa area, but we just want to let y'all know that increment 1 is 130 homes. It's up and running. And there'll be 2 more increments that will be building out in the next 2 to 3 years, depending upon timing and permits. And about 48 homes have been moved into. This is kind of bordering the area where Tony was just talking about with the lights and all that. So most of you have probably driven by, maybe given a walk through it. And the one that we're most interested in is, of course, the Geiger Light update. And so Gentry has resubmitted our plans to the city after we've received comments, initial comments. And so now it's just awaiting final approval. We submitted it to them on October 11th and haven't heard anything back yet. But after we hear back and we receive final approval, then we'll move on into this next step. Oh, I'm sorry, next step down here. And so that's my speed run. Wanted to stay with my 1 minute. But yeah, thanks so much. Let me know if you have any questions.
Any questions from board members? Seeing none, any questions from members of the community? Okay, seeing none, thank you.
Awesome, thank you.
DR Horton, Ho'opili update? Seeing none in the physical meeting space? Seeing none online? Okay. Oh, and the Haseko Homes update.
Hi, everyone. This is Christine Bayani. No updates for this month. Lisa will be back in December, but I know we're on recess, so she'll be back in January to provide some updates, I hope.
Okay, any questions for Christine from the board members? Seeing none, any questions from the community for board members? Excuse me, for Christine. Seeing none, okay, thank you, Christine, aloha.
Thank you, aloha.
Moving on to agenda item number 7, government officials. These reports will be limited to 3 minutes. Follow-up questions and answers and comments limited to 1 turn, 1 minute per person. We'll start with the United States Marine Corps. Ugh.
Good evening, Chair, members. So one announcement tonight is the Marine Corps Base Hawaii is hosting an open house at Pu'uloa Range. So please mark your calendars. Highly encourage your participation. We'll have the Hawaii Department of Health. We'll have folks from DC and some other areas come out to answer your concerns, questions, tell you a little bit about the results, what they mean. We will talk about SDZs to Mr. Plowman's concern, and just a little bit about what we do at PRTF so that we can raise the awareness, we can address your concerns and questions, and move forward on this thing that we've been working on all year. Pending that, that's what I've got for tonight. Oh yeah, sorry, December 4th, Wednesday, it'll be 5:30, and then what I'll do is I'll distribute a map chip and some directions to the chair and vice chair to put on your Google Drive. And then we'll also send out a larger invite to the media and the community.
Thank you, Major.
No, 5:30 p.m. Yep.
Just to clarify, the format is going to be 5:30 till about 8 o'clock, but it's an open house, so folks can come as your schedule permits. It's not that we're going to start something at 5:30, and if you show up at 6 o'clock, you've missed it. If you show up and you can be there for a half hour and you can't show up till 7 o'clock, no problem. It is an opportunity to have a discussion. So it's not like this, or if you come in after it starts, you've missed it. It is an open house. So as you have opportunity in your schedule, come in. The folks are going to be there throughout the evening to chat, and it allows for more robust conversation than here where you're limited to a couple of minutes. You could chat for 2 hours if you want to with someone from public health or someone with the HERE office or someone who is involved in the sampling analysis. And so the format will be an open house format.
Okay. As a follow-up question, so you hit on something, Colonel. It's not going to just be representatives from Marine Corps Base Hawaii, and you mentioned DC. So can you talk about the other stakeholders that are going to be presenting or at least available there?
Yeah, so we'll have the Marine Corps Base Hawaii staff, range personnel, we have the Hawaii Department of Health here. We'll have BYU, Hawaii, UH Manoa, Naval Marine Corps Force Health Protection Command from Washington, D.C.
Okay, thank you. Questions from the board? Oh, Alex?
Yes, I'm curious. I know some of those people you mentioned are a part of that working group that was created through that House resolution, and I'm just curious: is this related to that working group? It sounds like a lot of individuals are on that. My understanding is that that working group hasn't actually met. I was wondering, are you coordinating with that working group at all?
No, no coordination with the working group. Dr. Celia Smith and the other gentlemen who were present during the sampling, they've agreed to come out because they were present during the sampling to be present for our open house and answer questions regarding their subject expertise.
Thank you. Any other questions from board members? All right. Questions from members of the community? Seeing none? Thank you, Major Fox.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Semper Fi. I do not see a member of the U.S. Navy. They did send me a note saying that they would not be here tonight. They did send a report. It's rather lengthy. I'm not going to read it. I'll just note that they said they are offering a hiring fair at different times, and to check their Facebook page for specifics on the hiring fair. Next up, United States Army. Duty officer? I don't see any present in the physical meeting room. Any online? Okay. Seeing none, moving on to U.S. Representative Ed Case, quarterly report.
Yes, sir. Chairman, can you hear me and members of the board?
I can.
Okay, thank you, sir. Nestor Garcia again here, Communications Director for Congressman Ed Case. I did insert the Congressman's fourth quarter report in the chat, sir. If I could just go over briefly on some of the highlights. You're going to hear more about this again in a postcard that he's going to be issuing on the first week of December, but just letting especially our Kapuna know that there's going to be some reductions in, I think it was about 10 prescriptions that Medicare was able to negotiate with prescription companies, not effective though until January 2026. This comes as a result of the Inflation Reduction Act that was passed about a year or so ago. There is also a partnership that the Congressman was able to have the House approve and pass over to the Senate for consideration. This is an Indo-Pacific strategy that the Congressman has been pushing as a member of, well, actually as a founder of the Pacific Islands Caucus in the House of Representatives. He's trying to strengthen partnerships between the United States and Pacific Island nations, especially with China trying to raise its profile in the Indo-Pacific. I especially want to point out, Mr. Chairman and members of the board, there's still an opportunity. The deadline is November 25th with the National Park Service. Want to hear comments from the public as to whether or not there should be a study initiated to have a Kaena Point. I know that's not in our district, actually, it's on the North Shore. But to have Kaena Point designated as a natural heritage area, if it is designated as such, it would go to protect the historical and cultural resources in that particular area. Also want to point out, especially for veterans who might be listening in, Chairman, there's going to be a talk story or town hall, if you will. This is going to be held on November 23rd, which is a Saturday. Saturday morning from 9 o'clock in the morning till 10:30. This will be at the Oahu Veterans Center near Radford High School, Kokila Street. So Saturday, November 23rd, Congressman will be there in person. And we're inviting veterans to come and to attend, to listen to what he's doing on behalf of our veterans, and to hear their needs and concerns. We do this every year, Mr. Chairman, a chance to for our veterans to meet with the Congressman. And one last thing, there was a grant that the Congressman announced last month. This was a $40 million grant that was awarded to a partnership between Hawaiian Electric, a private company named Ameresco, and the Navy. This $40 million grant will go to construct a backup electric grid to back up Hawaiian Electric should there be a problem with that major grid, and to continue to supply power, especially for our military installations at Joint Base Pearl Harbor Hickam and surrounding civilian community. That's it, Mr. Chairman. Open to any questions you might have for the board members or for the public.
Thank you, Nestor. Appreciate it. Any questions or comments from board members? John Rogers?
Yeah, hi. I just, the survey, can you give us more information about the survey at Kaena Point? Or what? I didn't get all the
I'm sorry. Yeah, it's the National Park Service. They're open to any public comments. The deadline is November 25th, Mr. Rogers. If you want to, share your thoughts about whether or not there should be a study to designate Kaena Point as a natural heritage area. So it's just a call for a study, a possibility of a study, and you have to take this one step at a time. So that's the National Park Service website. If you go to the National Park Service website, you'll see an opportunity, a portal, I guess, to offer any comments.
Okay,
thank you.
Any other questions from members of the board?
Yes, I have some more questions.
Susan?
Yeah, you talked about a $40 million grant for a backup grid for military and some civilian. Could you give a little more detail on that?
Yeah, I'm not how much of a reach this grid will have. I don't have all those details, but I'd be happy to try to supply what details I can at the next board meeting, Susan.
Okay, yes, that would be great. And will the backup grid, what kind of energy will that be? Will that be fossil fuel? Will that be wind?
Again,
solar?
Again, I'll try to see what I'll try to see what details I can as far as what is the power source, renewable or
Great, thank you.
non-renewable, I guess is the question. Yeah.
Thank you. And there's one more question.
Susan,
oh,
it's actually limited to one turn per person. Well, thank you. I know you're excited. Any other questions from board members online? In the community? I do have one question, Nestor, just as a follow-up to the November 23rd event.
Yes, sir.
A time. You mentioned it's November 23rd. I don't think I caught the time.
Yeah, I'm sorry. It was 9 o'clock in the morning is the start. 9 o'clock in the morning to 10:30 a.m. Again, at the Oahu Veterans Center. Yeah.
Okay.
On Kukila Street, which is sort of near where Bradford High School is located.
Okay. Thank you. And if we want to actually contact you, your email address, are you comfortable giving that out?
Nestor, I can put it in the chat as well, sir. So it's Nestor, Nestor .Garcia. Nestor.Garcia at mail, MEIL .house.gov, for government.
Okay.
I'll put it in the chat as well, Chair.
Thank you. Appreciate your time. Aloha. Next up, we have Major Rick Blangiardes, representative.
Good evening, Chair Clark and board
Good evening.
members. Mark Yonomine, representing Mayor Blangiardi. So I am currently the Deputy Director at the Department of Design and Construction. I extend my apologies. I tried to get out there last month, and because of the key issue, I couldn't get in, but I will try and attend in person for our next meeting. I have two items to follow up on. First one is regarding drone fishing at Oneula and overall just safety concerns with that activity. The response from HPD is that they do not have jurisdiction over the ocean. And so they are encouraging people to call Department of Land and Natural Resources. Their phone number is 808-643-3567. And just as a reminder, DPR, closes daily from 10 p.m. to 5 a.m. with the exception of, people traversing or walking through the park to get to the ocean for swimming or fishing during park closure hours. And the second item is regarding safety at Verona Village. Residents shared her concern regarding the safety in Verona, that it could be where multiple lights are out and overgrown grasses present a fire hazard. So HFD went out there on August 30th and they inspected a property. The TMK is 91182 parcel 11, and they issued a notice of violation to the responsible party. HPD was also out there between September 25th to the 30th. They were monitoring speeding, and during that time, they did not detect anybody over the speed limit, but they will be doing periodic checks out there to make sure that people slow down driving through there. And that's all I have.
Thank you. Questions from the board? John Rogers?
Yeah, yes, hi. Hi, thanks for, I'm so excited that we have a mayor's rep again, so this is great. My question or my concern is the Westlock Shoreline path or shared use path. It's a 2+ mile path that runs between Kapapapui Park and a Sing Park. And I don't know if you know this, but now that path, the Westlock Shoreline Park path, is part of the larger Leeward Bikeway. And if you go on this path, it was built in like the late 80s, 1988, 1989, in that range, and it hasn't been maintained anything since that time. The neighborhood board, Evan neighborhood boards, about 3 or 4 years ago, we wrote a resolution asking for that to, some kind of repair or repaving. Even there's a bridge that crosses the Honolulu stream that was put in as a temporary bridge. The city ripped out the regular bridge that could fit a car across it because it was unsafe for cars, and they put a little 1 meter wide bridge across it from I think they got it from Campbell Industrial Park. But anyway, I asked the mayor if he intends, the city intends to do anything about this path with the larger Leeward Bikeway, because this is a big bikeway now, Halava to Kapolei, and we got a 2-mile section in the middle of it.
Thanks, John. You get to the question.
Thank you.
Thank you for your question. I will take that question back to administration. But I did participate in a cleanup last month, actually, along that bike path behind Waipahu High School. So we spent the day out there cleaning up, but definitely the overall condition, I will bring it back to administration.
Thanks.
Okay. Any other questions from any other board members? Any questions from members of the community? No? Okay. Moving on to Councilmember Andrea Topola. Online rep, or Andrea, are you online, Councilmember?
Hi, aloha, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear.
Hi, awesome. Good evening, Eva Beach Neighborhood Board and our fellow community. My name is Jeannie Timotel. I'm a representative for Councilwoman Andrea Tupola. I'm a community case manager for her office. So there's only going to be 2 items that we're going to be presenting to the agenda today. I believe it's going to be Bill 62 that Andrew will be introducing as of this upcoming City Council on December 11th. That will be in reference to the veterans of age over 65, who we're going to present to have their registration to be waived. So we are showing that exempting vehicle registration fees for veterans over 65 is a meaningful way to give back to those who have given so much. So that'll be one item that we're presenting today. And the second item would be the upcoming wastewater sewer fees that will be changing on this upcoming January. And that should be taking into effect, I believe, of July 1st of 2025. Right, do we have any questions or concerns?
Questions from members of the board? John, now I'm going to caution you, John, okay, because it's limited to 1 minute. One minute.
You're taking
Okay.
up a minute.
Well, okay. So let's
All I want to do is say,
optimize and maximize use of our.
I just want to say thank you for that. The Bill 62. I'm going to be 65 in 2025. So and I'm a retired veteran, so I appreciate it. Thanks.
Thank you for your service, John. Alex?
Yeah, thanks for that. I'm just not clear on your second announcement. You were just announcing that the sewer fees are going to go up. Was that, I just wanted to clarify what that state, you were just making that clear so the public is aware of it. Is that what it is?
Correct. They should be giving out a notice indicating Department of Environmental Services will be changing their rate fees. So we just wanted to give a heads up to the community.
And that's something that we did cover in the previous board meeting, Alice, as a look ahead. So I think it's going to continue to go up, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Any other questions from members of the board? Seeing none. Members of the community, any questions? Thank you, ma'am. Aloha.
Aloha, have a good evening.
Next up, Councilmember Augie Tuba, or designated
Chair.
representative.
Thanks, Chair, board members. First off, I want to say congratulations for all of us for who survived another election season. Whether you're running for office or supporting someone running for office, thank you so much for your engagement. Budget season is coming up, so if there is any request for the public as far as capital improvement projects or other issues that we could take to budgetary look at, please email my office, atoba@honolulu.gov. In 2017, the Hawaii State Legislature passed House Bill 1244, Act 125, requiring the replacement of all cesspools in Hawaii by 2050. The city and county of Honolulu is being proactive for the replacement of cesspools, and so all the details are in my office, and I'll be walking the community, going door to door in the affected neighborhoods to let them know what's coming and answering any questions they might have. On January 6th, 17th, I'm doing an event called Tag You're Out. We've been noticing a lot of graffiti and vandalism in our districts in Waipahu and Ewa Beach. If you want to take part in helping me paint out graffiti, you can log on to my website, augiehnl.com. Other than that, happy Thanksgiving. I know we won't be meeting next month. Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, and look forward to seeing all of you in 2025. With that, I'll take some questions.
Any questions, from members of the board? John?
Thanks, Augie, for you are also a co-signer on that Bill 62, and there was another bill too that you're doing right now with the electric bikes, and I appreciate that too, and I'll be supporting all those. Thanks.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, John. Any other questions from members of the board? Alex?
Hey, Councilmember, appreciate that report. I'm wondering, have you heard any updates on the I haven't been following, so I'm just for the public to begin on the North Road resolution, or is there no advancement on that?
For some reason, I know you would have asked. No, we are aggressively asking an update from the department. So,
Any other questions from members of the board? Seeing none, questions from members of the community? Yes, ma'am. Please step up. State your name.
My name is Hoku Leong Fisher. I know you mentioned the cesspool conversion. So with that said, when will that happen, and who's paying for that? And will the state offer? I know that on Kauai they did offer to pay some conversions and offer that to the community.
so again, I'll be going door to door in the next couple of weeks. So this is from the director today. Project probably not going to take place for the next 2 years, maybe possibly more. But when making the rounds, the city and county will take on the expense. The residents will have a fee after they once connected, but the city and county will be paying for it. So that's that for right now until I get more details.
As a follow-up question, paying for what, Augie?
The connection to the sewer lines.
Right, but the removal of the cesspool is on the residents.
Not from my understanding. I think we will be taking care of it if they choose to do it.
Yeah. The consensus in the room here, again with Rep. Alcos too, is that it's the residents. I mean, it's because it's a sizable amount. I don't see the city and county doing it. I got one question though. So you mentioned CIP projects, and you're asking for community input. So that's often confusing to members of the community. I think everybody has an idea generally of some things they'd like to see improved in the community, but they don't understand this process of capital improvement projects. Some people don't know what CIP stands for. So can you not only explain that, but I'd like you to provide an example of when you have accepted a request for capital improvement project and have subsequently facilitated funding and the complete project. That way, our residents can understand, our residents can better understand how they are connected to the CIP process.
Well, it's quite lengthy, but basically, so 4 years ago, we haven't put in any projects in because there's so much projects in the CIP already, you know, going back as far as 10 years. But I give you one instance, the roof at Pualoa Park.
The roof at Pualoa Beach Park?
Right. We put in a CIP 4 years ago, right? And that's a process or co-signing with the bathrooms at Oniula. So projects, yeah. You know, it's if I could yeah, we there's projects that's on the CIP which is open and you can look at on the city council website the projects that's being asked for or getting done. It's a lengthy process, but these are huge projects that the city and county might be able to take on depending on the administration's what the administration want to do, their priorities. So when I ask, you know, like we put in several the repair of, you know, for the sprinklers for the parks in a Sing, as well as for the pumps, the repair of the pumps. So that was funded. So it takes a lot of time, man. These are projects that is big in the community that you think we need to get
Okay, thank you, Councilmember.
Yeah.
Appreciate your time. Next up, Board of Water Supply. Kelson? Don't see him in the physical space. Not online, okay. Moving on, Department of Education. I don't see a representative in the physical meeting space. Nothing online. Moving on to Governor Green's representative. Yay! So you're the new Perry?
I'm the new Perry. My name is Tara Castrovinci, and I will be your new Governor Green rep for the state. I actually am the communication specialist for the Executive Office on Early Learning, but part of my job entails working with Governor Green's office and being part of this board. I'm also an Ewa Beach resident, so I'm kind of excited to get to know all of you and see what's going on. So I'll get you my email and my contact information if anybody has any questions for me.
Wait, don't go anywhere.
Yes.
Any questions for the governor's rep from members of the board? No?
No updates for me. I'll bring something more substantial in January.
Okay. Any questions for the community? Ma'am, we do have a question from a member of the board. No. Mr. Plowman?
Hi, yes, appreciate your time. Nice to meet you, ma'am. And I was watching the news. I was watching the news the other day, and they were talking about developing an entirely new, I guess you'd call it, first responder campus down near the airport. And they're saying, oh, we need this great need for new facilities for the sheriff to include a shooting range, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And it was just the other day that we spent millions of dollars on environmental assessments, plans, permits for a whole first responders campus up in Mililani that the governor, my understanding is, cut funding to, and that was the end of the project. And now we're turning around, considering starting from scratch at another location. I'm wondering if you could speak to that, please.
I do not have information on that, but I will find out for you. So let me reach out to his people and find out the answers and get back to you on that. So,
Is that
Great,
sufficient?
thank
Mike?
you.
great, thank you.
Yes,
I
thank
have
you.
one question. I have one question, ma'am. What's your name again?
My name, Tara.
Tara.
Yes.
Tara. Okay, Tara. So since I joined the board in 2015, I've been serving as either the education chair or the co-chair. During the first few years that I was on this board, the complex area superintendent, Heidi Armstrong,
Yes.
Ms. Armstrong, was a superlative complex area superintendent. She came to every meeting unless she was not on island.
Yes.
When the current complex area superintendent was hired, I think he came to one meeting and has not attended since. I know you're not the DOE rep. However, the Department of Education is a state agency.
It is.
So would you please, and I'll go through you the first time, but I'm at the point now because I've invited complex area superintendent Tashima several times to this board, but he refuses to attend.
Okay.
So our Kiki are our future, and he is the leader of this complex. Okay, I believe it is very important that he comes to this meeting. So if I have to contact Governor Green myself, I would do that. But can you go ask Governor Green if we can do something to get a DOE representative at this meeting,
Yes.
preferably the complex area superintendent?
Yes, I will reach out. I will
Okay.
ask them for that.
Thank you, Tara. I appreciate it.
Yep.
Hawaii Department of Transportation Quarterly Report, HDOT. Do we have a representative? Nothing online? Okay. Moving right along, Senate District 19, Senator Henry Aquino.
Aloha Chair,
Aloha.
Vice Chair, board members. Can you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear.
Okay. Aloha Chair, Vice Chair, board members. My name is Nathaniel Issei. I'm sure you guys have seen me several times now. I did email my report this afternoon. I'm not sure if you got it or not, but that's all that I have. Thank you.
Any questions from members of the community? Any questions from board members? Seeing none, moving on to Senate District 20, Senator Kurt Favela.
They did drop the newsletter out there.
Okay. Seeing none in the meeting space, Senator Mike Gabbard, moving on to Senate District 21.
Aloha Chairman, Vice Chair Clark, and honorable board and community members. I'm Melanie June, Senator Gabbard's new legislative
Hi,
assistant.
Melanie?
Yes.
Mitch is not in the meeting space. The chair is John Clark, that is me, and the vice chair is Alex and John Olen.
Thank you very much for the reminder. I apologize.
Thank you.
But I'm the new legislative assistant and community liaison. The senator sends his best wishes to you and your ohana, and he invites you all to read his October newsletter. His November newsletter will be coming out shortly. One of the highlights is a video by Dr. Keone Dudley on hurricane awareness and preparedness. The link to the YouTube video is in the senator's newsletter. I'll also drop the link into the chat and the link to his September newsletter as well. And Senator Gabbard is also hosting an event this Saturday at the Capitol called the Climate Future Forum and Summit. It's put on for youth ages 14 to 26 to learn about climate change and to interact with legislators on potential legislation. I'll also put that link to the event in the chat. And you can feel free to reach out to Sen Gabbard at capitol.hawaii.gov or call our office at 808-586-6830. And with that, I'll be glad to take any questions or concerns. Back to the senator.
Any questions from members of the board? Any questions from members of the community? Just one question from the chair, John Clark. It's been a while since we've seen the senator. Any chance he might make it to one of these meetings over the next month or so, or a couple months?
I can definitely get back to you on that. I know that he's very busy right now, but I'll be sure to send you guys an email and let you know if he plans on attending.
Okay. Okay. Too busy to meet with the constituents or members of the community?
No, I'm so sorry. That's not my responsibility. I'm his community liaison, but I am new and still training right now.
Okay. Thank you.
So once I have more knowledge on it, I will get back to you.
Thank you. Up next, Representative Elijah Pierce, District 39. Rep. No one in the physical meeting space nor online. Next up, Representative District 40.
Hi, everybody. I'm Julie Reyes-Oda. I'm the new State House District Rep, and I am learning. So just make sure I've been on the job for about a week. That's it. I know that it looked like the election was over last week, but as you guys know, the election cure date to cure deficient ballots was yesterday at 5. So that's how we found out really that all the ballots were counted. And so right now, I do not have an office. I'm not moving into the Capitol for about a month. I don't have any staff yet. They just told us last night that we could hire. And so as you can tell, I don't really have much of anything. I'm picking up a computer tomorrow from them. So just to let you guys know, I'm operating really just off the grid, just with me. So please bear with it for at least another month or so. So couple of discussion items. I was already emailed the constituent concerns. The question was asking about the bathrooms at Pu'uloa Beach Park, the one Councilman Augie was talking about, and if it's going to be renovated or updated anytime soon. He did mention that he put in a CIP for the bathroom roof, I think, right, 4 years ago. But the answer that I got was that Pu'uloa Beach Park is listed on the Department of Design and Construction list, which is, I think, the mayor's rep. And the scope of the work listed is to plan, design, construct, inspect, and provide related equipment for a roof at the comfort station, repairs for the pavilion, and other miscellaneous repairs. Currently, no funds have been appropriated on the latest list provided by Design and Construction, but the play courts have been resurfaced. In February 2021, the playground received a significant refurbishing in April of 2017. And I let her know that my position is with the state, but the city's chair of the park committee is Councilman Augie Talba in our district. And if she had any further questions, I would contact his office for follow-up. The next thing was about House Resolution 18, which is, I think, what Board Member Gauss was talking about, titled Establishing a Working Group to Address Issues Related to Water and Air Contamination and Remediation Arising from the Operation of the Pu'uloa Range Trading Facility. Just to let you know, I'm probably going to go over 3 minutes. The working group was established on April 12th of this year to address issues related to water and air contamination and remediation arising from the operation of the Pu'uloa Range Training Facility. Per the resolution, the group consisted of the District 40 rep, the District 9 City Council member, and the Vice Chair of the Eva Neighborhood Board. The working group is requested to invite other individuals with relevant experience and expertise to be members, including a marine biologist from UH Manoa, a rep from Kuleana Coral Restoration, a rep from the fishing industry, and a rep from the Marine Corps. The group is requested to meet quarterly, report to the House quarterly, and this resolution expires on June 30th, 2025. I inquired with the House Minority Research Office regarding any info. The only report was that the working group met for introductions and no reports are yet available. The Marines did post a preliminary soil sampling report. Most notably, some of the findings included lead detected at 26 times what the state considers acceptable. Although the Department of Health did not issue a report themselves, they suggested the necessity for further investigation. That was what was given to me. Anyone interested should attend the open house that was mentioned at PRTF on December 4th between 5:30 and 8 to visit the site and ask questions about the test results. I attempted to contact Kuleana Coral and Dr. Celia Smith from UH Manoa, and I received no response. So when I was the Eva neighborhood, one of the vice chairs, I was not invited or made aware of the work group, but I want to make sure that the vice chairs right now can decide who is going to attend on the behalf of the board, because based on this information, I hope to convene this working group ideally before the end of the year to fulfill the requested information in House Resolution 18. And if there are any questions for our ideas for bills, CIP, or concerns, you can contact me by phone at, I'm going to give it to you slowly, 586-9730, by email, repreyes-oda@capitol.hawaii.gov, or in person when I move into the Capitol in room 310. Thank you so much, and I stand by for any questions.
Thank you, Rep. Reyes-Oda. Appreciate that lengthy but very important report, initial report. Any questions from members of the board? See nothing online, see nothing in the meeting room. Any questions from members of the community? No? Okay, thank you.
Thank you. So ideally, the vice chairs, if you guys can talk amongst yourselves. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Moving on to District 41, Rep. David Alcos.
Aloha. Thank you, board, community members. First of all, I just want to apologize for missing a couple meetings. Maybe one or two recently. I did have some family members ill and need taken care of till today. It's a struggle. But I also want to thank John Clark for running and, as a representative in our District 41. Not too much guys would get out, maybe less than 1% would serve our community and run for a representative or senator. And for the amount of work that you do continue on at the neighborhood board in the community. Just want to say thank you so much. And I think that you did an awesome job. And for your family as well. Mahalo. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Rep. Appreciate it. And congratulations.
Thank you. I do have a town hall meeting coming up on December 5th, right here in this library at 7 o'clock. The subject on the town hall meeting is we're ramping up to put in some new bills, resolutions, and even get finance money for our schools. And I would like the community to get involved, whatever idea that you have. And I would love to share and not just put only my team ideas, but I want to fight for the community, be the voice for you guys. My team is out here ready to support and run with the ball. And we just would love to have that support. Again, I'm so blessed and thank you again to serve District 41 and our state. And I learned a lot on my first term. I hope I can do much more better and serve you guys even stronger. I believe that we are already building a strong team, even stronger than what is before. I'll introduce to you, I have Michelle right over here. She'll be handling with me our community events and community outreach. Alan is my manager that he's always handling the schedule and overseeing. And I also have Sheila be out helping me at the Capitol and sharing all kinds of stuff. And I do have some other some other helpers out there that would come and join us in serving the community. We look forward in all of the events that we have. I know I'm running out of time, but please come out and join us. Alan, did I miss anything else? Geiger, I forget, what about that one?
So there's a new intersection or crosswalk that's coming out of Waikai on Kihoniula and Kawai Viola. So it's already with I think the Department of Planning. That's done. The drawing's done. They have a maintenance ticket out already. So hopefully that'll come out soon.
Other than that, happy holidays. God bless. See you guys, I guess, next year. Yeah. And I don't know about happy holidays because February is Super Bowl. I count that as a holiday as well.
Okay, wait one, Rep. Any questions from the members of the board? Alex?
Hey, congratulations, David. When did you say where you're doing your talk story, your town hall? Where?
Town hall, December 5th, right here, 7 to 9 p.m.
Thank you.
Any other questions from other members of the board? Seeing none? Any questions from members of the community? Seeing none? Thank you, Rep.
Thank you.
And wrapping up with Representative District 42, Representative Diamond Garcia. Seeing no representative? Okay, any committee reports? No? No? Okay, thank you, John. Okay, announcements. Next regular meeting scheduled for Thursday, January 9th, 2025 at 7 p.m. Remember, we are in recess next month. Before we wrap up, I would like to point out, and I'll be sharing this information with members of the board via email, but there have been several, I won't call them changes, but I'll say they're reinforcements that the Neighborhood Commission Office has put out regarding the decorum of the board and how and what we can do. More specifically, adhering more closely to the agenda. A lot of this stuff is closely monitored. Some of it has to do with some of the discussions that wind up evolving out of non-agenda items. I chose not to strictly enforce some of those tonight. For example, one of those was residents and community concerns. During the residents and community concerns, members of the board are actually not allowed to weigh in there. What I believe what we do is fair. The members of the board usually go up to the podium. I think that's a good trade-off. That's being asked not to be done. I don't think that's fair because we're members of the community, and I think we should be allowed to say what we want to say as well. There's other smaller changes, but enforcing the time limit and when we talk and more closely adhering to the agenda, I think is the overall goal. Would you say that, Jeffrey? Okay. With that, we will adjourn. Thank you.
I know, nice.